There are some very curious areas and data points in Horizon Forbidden West that could hint at future content, maybe a DLC called Burning Shores, and this seems to be a castle we can explore in the future. So there's a ton to go over. Of course, if you like the Horizon content, then leaving a like on the video would be amazing. And let's go. The first interesting secret location in Forbidden West is over here on the map, which is nothing. But you can put a marker there and already see the small island in the distance. You can only reach it with the Sunwing though. So let's fly towards the island, and then at one point it's noticed that you're leaving the play area and should turn back, but instead you want to drop in the water and swim a bit to the right. So you basically get through the barrier here, and if you then use the Sunwing again to pick you up, then you're able to reach this small uninhabited island that you can land on. Although I say uninhabited, there are some animals here that you can kill and some plants you can pick up. Now sure, this could totally be nothing, but it is strange that they made this playable space while not showing it on the map. Pro tip though, do not go in the water near the islands because they will bug out and are unable to move, but luckily your Sunwing can always free you. Now more interesting is this other location, which is over here on the map close to Hollow Rock, and I want to thank Goose7119 on Twitter for reaching out about this. So once you fast travel to the campfire, you see a waterfall blocking your path and also a mountain you cannot climb. So we want to move out of the small settlement and then summon our Sunwing. You will immediately notice that you're able to perch at a nearby point, which actually also makes you able to get higher up. And from here we can run to the still foggy area where we actually see a road. Now at one point you will actually get a message that you're leaving the play area and should turn back. If you continue, your last saved game will be reloaded, which doesn't happen by the way. Instead we find bracers here basically highlighting the way, and you can scan the rocks and are able to climb up. But that is where the fun ends, because now you're blocked by an invisible wall. So let's again go back a bit and try it again with the Sunwing, because with our trusty mount we can get way higher up, and if we then use the photo mode, we see a very large ruin on top of the mountain, which does look very curious. And you actually see a zip line, which kind of seems out of place for an area we cannot reach. It gets even crazier though, because if you find a way to get higher up with the Sunwing, we can actually look down on the castle thing, where we see tall grass, climbable objects highlighted with the yellow paint, walls. This kind of looks like a combat area where we can sneak to take out human enemies, and the zipline also goes from a different tower a bit further away. Also interesting is that there are already some elements that could telegraph a way to get up to the ruin or castle. We find a very curious looking tree that we know we should be able to push over, as we could already do that a couple of times in other parts of the game. Like, this tree is just waiting for us to push it over. I would be shocked if this doesn't end up as future content, especially because it really reminds me of that road in Horizon Zero Dawn, which would then later lead us to the Frozen Wilds. And if you would go to this road before the Frozen Wilds came out, you would see the exact same message that tells you to turn back, or that it would otherwise load your previous save, as we're now seeing with this curious road in Forbidden West. I don't think that's coincidence. Your theories are of course more than welcome in the comments down below, but there is way more. I think this is just a small Excalibur Easter egg, but there is a sword in a stone nearby over here on the map, close to the Drumroot entrance and the Hunting Goods vendor. And shout out to Seikon Gaming on YouTube for sharing this. Aloy will even share a quick line when you get close enough.
A sword. And a stone. Huh. Reminds me of a story I read in an ancient data point. I don't think I can pull it out though.
And yeah, we tried everything, also the pullcaster, to get it out, but the sword won't budge. I really hoped that we would have multiple melee weapons in Forbidden West, maybe for the DLC, although I think they might save it for the inevitable third game. In this video I want to focus on DLC though, because there are references being found to an area called the Burning Shores by two separate sources. One being the data point you find during the Burning Blooms side quest with Talana. After killing the Shell Snapper you have to enter a tunnel, and before you do you find a Delver's diary written with a friendly hand. And this seems to be Gildan from the Frozen Wilds. Maybe you remember him. You encounter him during the waterlogged side quest. It's still one of my favorite side missions in Horizon period, by the way. And we see that it's him, thanks to him mentioning the visit to the frozen north, how his impulses have been tempered by the good sense of a certain flame-haired Nora. He talks about a relish dam-busting delve and how she saved him. So yes, this must be Gildan. But the final paragraph is interesting. He notes that he shall take a few moments to reminisce, and then southward it is to the burning shores, which a location I don't think is in the game yet. And there's more. Misa reached out on Twitter with an honorable mention of a certain Banuk shaman. If you namely go over here on the map close to the Tide Ripper site, we find an Osram passed out with a new Machine Dreams data point about a couple of Osram who saw a Banuk shaman in the Forbidden West drinking machine oil. And this person was also talking about machine dreams and visions. Of course, this has to be only one Banuk shaman, Bryn from Zero Dawn, we encounter during the Acquired Taste side mission. So in the first game, he already mentions how he should chase that teasing sun to the Forbidden West, and how Aloy should find him if she weathers the storm, which is kind of what we did by finishing the Forbidden West. So going back to the data point, because now he shouted he had to keep running to the place of flame and brine, which could be another way of saying burning shores, with brine of course being salty water. So both Bryn and Gildan seem to go to this Burning Shores potential DLC area, and big shout outs to Copycat on Reddit, by the way, for piecing this together. And we did some extra digging, because southward of the Forbidden West map, so San Francisco and Las Vegas, would likely be LA, maybe Venice Beach as the shores they revert to. But once again, your theories are more than welcome in the comments down below. And this would also not be the first time that a future location we can explore is mentioned by a data point, as Forbidden West had its own data point in Zero Dawn 2. When we know more, I'll be the first to tell you here, of course. So totally subscribe for everything Horizon if you haven't already. A like on the video would really help me out. And totally check out our previous video on some big secret changes with the recent update that also might hint at future content. You can watch it by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it after our photo mode showcase, of course, at the end of every news and update video. We want to highlight the awesome pictures that you can send us via the HorizonRaptor hashtag on Twitter, or by going to the dedicated pictures channel on our Discord, and I will leave a link to the Discord in the pinned comment. Okay, Joyce, your turn. You of course selected 3 shots, so let's go over them.
First up, we've got the Red Fox 788 over on our Discord, where Aloy is chilling on the piano back at the Zenith base. Love the composition of this one. Moving on to Moses, also on our Discord, getting into action as Aloy is jumping off a high point to attack the Apex long leg. I definitely felt something looking at the yellow eye, but wonder if it's already too late to acknowledge her. And my favorite of the 3 is from Sushifu over on Twitter, who took this portrait of Aloy in the rain, enjoying the drops on her skin. It's a very artistic composition, almost like a phone wallpaper. I really love it.
Must be cold as well. I think Aloy would be up for the Burning Shores. And let's be honest here, Horizon, the Burning Shores, it sounds great as well. We will see if it ever comes true. Of course, a like on the video would help us out. And subscribe to miss nothing. Check out our previous video. Goodbye.